Love you.
All right, here we are again. Hi, Mira.
Hi, Brad.
This is Brad and Mira for the Culture, our weekly pop culture. What is it?
It's a podcast.
Oh, that's right. I was going to say postmortem. That feels a little harsh. You can follow, you can subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and you can follow Mira on Twitter at Mira Gons. She's also on Instagram. I'm on Bluesky and Instagram. It's like at otherppl.podcast or at otherppl.bluesky, whatever it is. You can find
You never know what it is.
So, R.I.P. to Val Kilmer. I want to start out with a stirring tribute to Val Kilmer, who I think we both agree seemed like a really good guy. And
seemed like a really, I watched that documentary of him and I was genuinely moved by it. I thought that he seemed like a really like a weirdo, like a true weirdo, but like a nice guy, and his kids love him, and like a good dad. I was really, it's one of those rare moments where you see a documentary about a celebrity and you're actually like, oh, they're nicer and cooler and like a more normal person than maybe I thought they were.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up, because I saw that documentary too and loved it because I felt like it was honest. It was maybe even excruciatingly honest. And he also did like a fanatical job of self-documentation. Like, for people who haven't seen it, Val Kilmer, his whole life would have a video camera on him. Even before phones, he would carry around one of these big old 1980s video cameras and would film what was happening in his life. So all of this footage ends up, or not all of it, but a lot of it ends up in the documentary. And I love documentaries that have found footage and that incorporate archival footage.
Yeah, especially ones where it's people who have just been filming themselves in a crazy way for millions of years or whatever, just not even knowing if it would go anywhere necessarily. I feel like it makes some of the best documentaries.
Well, the eventual documentary about this podcast will feature tons of archival audio.
That's right. And in fact, Brad and I saw each other in real life, not once, but twice, or arguably 3 times this week. And yes, we did have a cameraman on us the whole time.
Well, it's so weird. I had I joke. I think I was joking on this show recently about how you never leave your house, and seeing you in public is like spotting Bigfoot or whatever. And
we also live kind of far apart. It's not super close. Well, maybe closer now, but yeah. And I also just never leave my house. That is absolutely true. It's like spotting the Loch Ness Monster.
But I've seen you now 3 times in a week, and I think we're going to see each other this weekend. We're going to go karaoke singing together.
Oh yeah, I forgot. And listeners, if you have any recommendations for karaoke duets, and I know you do, please send them to letters@otherppl, and we will take it into serious consideration. Brad has been very resistant to the idea of us doing a duet of Total Eclipse of the Heart, but I do think if the listeners come in and back me up that you might change his mind. I'm a bad singer, by the way, really bad, truly terrible.
But I think if we did Total Eclipse of the Heart, that would mean that you would be Bonnie Tyler, so you would be singing lead, and I would just be the falsetto man in the background who says.
Well, so we got to switch.
Oh,
because I've as I've said, I'm a terrible singer. I can only sing very basic songs and almost kind of out of tune, which is rough coming from a family of musicians, but it's the truth. So I'm going to have to sing backup unless everyone wants a real show.
What do you think? I'm not some kind of singer. I'm a little nervous about it, to be honest. I don't know how it's going to go. What do people really want to hear me sing some ballad?
I mean, I think that's the thing about karaoke is that they do. And so in my experience, the key to karaoke is that you need to pick a song that everyone's going to sing along to. That way, it's not just you up there performing. Everybody is in it also, and it feels way less awkward. For example, we could do Hot to Go, right? You do the Hot to Go dance. I'll do the song. Everyone else does the Hot to Go dance. The whole place is involved.
Wait, what is Hot to Go again? I don't even know what this is.
It's a Chappell Roan song, and it's feel like I've even done the dance on the podcast before, but it's like YMCA, where it's like HOTTOGO, but you do people who don't see video, but like you do the letters with your arms, and she'll get the whole audience doing it, and that's what we're gonna do at literary karaoke.
I'm gonna sing some Grateful Dead tunes. Just shut the party down.
You're just gonna sing like Jerry's guitar parts with your mouth.
This next song is called Dire Wolf. It's called
Ramblin' Marge on the freeway to Skull City. This is called the Dead Rose Garden with Maggie and her group of gnomes or whatever the fuck.
I'm gonna sing Morning Dew. Just bring the house down.
Yeah, so, Morning Dew. There you go.
So that would be 4 Mira sightings in a span of like 3 weeks or 2 weeks.
Yes.
That's unheard of. And I do have to give Mira props for making my son River a IKEA doll and an IKEA, like an actual IKEA that's like, I guess, like a pillow.
Like a building. It's like, it's like a cube shaped pillow, and it has like a little yellow entrance on the side.
And Mira crocheted this. She made these toys by hand. My son River, who, he's got some disabilities, but he's like super obsessed with.
He's so fucking funny. He's like truly like, even among adults, like the funniest person I've ever met.
He's very funny. And we went over to Mira's house. I actually got to see Mira's new house, and she gifted River with his IKEA toys, and it was very adorable. He was very happy. It
was very adorable. And River and I bonded on both of us watching Backrooms on YouTube because, I'm, as somebody on the cusp of being a millennial and Gen Z, I love to keep up with the youth culture. So
yeah, I have. And meanwhile, I have I can't even compute what the fuck any of that is. Like watching these YouTube, why does he want to watch these YouTube videos?
Backrooms is actually, I have to say, pretty good. Tyler and I watched it not fully. It was just suggested on YouTube, and we were like, why not? I like being scared. Let's try it. And and we grew up in the era of creepy pasta, which people who are younger than Brad will know what that means. But it's fake creepy stories online that seem like they could be real. But Backrooms is interesting because it's all CGI. It's all it's a first person perspective, almost like found footage kind of thing, where somebody is in an office, and then they're like, why are all the lights off in the office? Why is nobody here? And then they go through another door, and it's an indoor pool, and they're like, this isn't fucking normal. And then they try to go back into the office, and it's suddenly, I don't know, the office is just a big empty yellow room with flickering lights, and it's a person kind of desperately trying to navigate through this thing. And then there's kind of vaguely monsters in the background and shit like that. But it's very quiet, it's very spooky, and it looks like it's on 35 millimeter film or something like that. So the fact you can't tell that it's CGI because of the quality of the film is kind of Blair Witch Project-y or something. It's incredibly clever and well made, I have to say. River has taste.
All right. Well, that's good to know. He just loves to watch scary shit. I guess that's what little boys like that. He loves to.
I guess so, but also at the same time, I'm about to out my biological father as being an absolute dipshit. When we were, I think my brother was 11 or something like that. And my brother doesn't even have, he was not afraid of scary movies before, really. My dad took him to a screening of The Exorcist. And
when he was 11?
When he was 11 years old, took him to a screening of The Exorcist at 10 p.m. or something. Not a daytime screening, a nighttime screening of The Exorcist. And my brother got so freaked out that he was like, Daddy, I want to go home. I want to leave. And my dad was like, you can wait in the lobby while I finish the movie. So my brother obviously didn't do that because he's a child and didn't want to wait alone. And then he had to sleep in my parents' room for a month afterwards. And my mom was fucking furious. And then I think 2 weeks later, he took me and my brother to, and this is not a joke, a midnight showing of 2001: A Space Odyssey. And I'm 3 years younger than my brother. So I was 9? Or 8 rather. He was 12 and I was 8 or 9. Insane. A fucking 2.5 hour long movie that's I love it now, but it's boring. it's not like an exciting film. So
no, I went to this was a few years ago. This was like before the pandemic. I went to a screening of 2001 at the Cinerama Dome, like RIP.
Oh my God, I'll bet that was amazing.
There was a huge line. It was a sold out show. I mean, people in LA get excited about movies, and everybody outside. It was funny because the entire line was just smoking pot openly. Everyone was just getting. So,
that's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
I've always felt like a movie theater that you can smoke weed inside of would do so well, and I don't know why no one does it.
Yeah, maybe
people have lounges. Like people have like lounge permits in LA where like they serve food and you smoke weed and stuff like that. You could do it with the movie theater.
I don't like the food in the movie. Like, don't bring a meal into a theater. Like, I don't even like popcorn. Just like
it's why I don't go to Alamo Draft House, because at Alamo Draft House they have like a waiter come around and take people's order, and then it's like, what? I'm watching fucking Terrifier 3 and someone's eating a hamburger in front of me. Like, I don't want that.
No, eat like just deal with your life. Like, we're here to watch a movie. Oh, I gotta have a meal. I can't stand it. I can't just sit here.
Like, I could handle popcorn, and that is like the absolute most. Like, even a pretzel is pushing it.
Yeah, it's just too much. I mean, like, I just don't understand. Like, everywhere people go, it's like, well, I can't be in here unless I have a meal. I've got to have food.
Jesus, like, the whole point of a movie is like, like sell alcohol at your movie theater. That's fine. People get drunk during a movie. Fine, great, wonderful. Like, drinks are no problem. But like, stick to popcorn, man. Like, chill.
It's like, I think it's like water and weed.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I mean, I don't drink soda, but I make exceptions for occasional movies that I'm really excited about and planes. And on both of those situations, I will drink one Diet Coke. That is, don't tell my mom. She will never forgive me.
What about Coke Zero? Isn't that like Diet Coke, but not diet, but it's still good?
I don't really know the difference, to be totally honest. And I never fucked with Coke Zero because I don't know if it actually tastes different than Diet Coke. And I like the poison flavor of Diet Coke, which is why I drink it instead of regular Coke. Because it's not really about it is about the Coke flavor, but something about the like poisony taste of the cancer-causing ingredients is like what I like in the Diet Coke.
Carrie, my wife, is very into the Mexican Coke, which I think has real sugar in it, right?
Yeah. The Mexican Coke is just like regular Coke, but with real cane sugar. And that is also very good. It's like, if you like Coke, that's the best one. But if you're insane like me and you love the taste of toxic chemicals, then Diet Coke is for you. It's like that Trump tweet where he was like, the Coca-Cola company hates me, but that's fine. I'll keep drinking that trash.
God. Yeah.
God.
So I don't even know how we got there. What movies?
Oh, you were seeing 2001: A Space Odyssey at the Cinerama Dome.
Oh, yeah. And so I got, I got stoned because somebody was like, there's a joint being passed down the line. And I was like, all right, I'm going to see Kubrick. Like, let's do this.
When was this?
Oh, this was years. This was before the pandemic because the Cinerama Dome is closed, right? And they haven't reopened it. So I went inside and the movie starts. And by the way, I'm kind of bummed because it's the best way to see 2001. It is a beautiful movie to look at and like super trippy and just like...
Oh my God, I would have killed to see 2001 in the Cinerama Dome. I mean, it must have been amazing.
Well, it was until I fucking fell asleep because I'm a middle-aged man. I had a long day.
It was late at night. That movie is soothing.
Yeah, I go to bed at like 9:30. I'm like, Grandpa fell asleep. I got up and I was like stoned. I like left the theater. I was like, I'm out of here.
That is such a shame because, yeah, like what an experience that is to see 2001 in the Cinerama Dome and you fell asleep. That is so funny. I mean, I'm one to say that. I was like, I've been trying to get Tyler to catch up on The White Lotus. So we like started from season 1. And like, last night I was like, it was like, Tyler's like, should we watch another episode? Should we go to sleep? And I was like, let's watch another episode. Like, I'm awake. Like, why not? Fuck it. And I then fell asleep 5 minutes into the episode.
What is which season are you on? I haven't seen any of it. What is it? Is it good?
I've watched the whole thing, and listeners who watch the show will know that the finale of season 3 aired this week, and it was very divisive and very heart-wrenching. Because the thing about The White Lotus is it all focuses on like a luxury hotel chain called The White Lotus in different locations, and then each season starts with a death, but you don't see who dies. And then as the season goes on, it's like, you get further and further. And then in the last episode, you get to see who dies. And so that's basically the conceit of the show. And they're kind of, what do you call like a capsule episode, but it's a whole season. Like you
wait, somebody dies in every season?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like the whole season is leading up to figuring out who died.
Oh, I didn't know it was that dark. I thought it was just like a bunch of rich people on vacation, like having sex with each other.
It is also that, but it's like, it's incredibly damning about rich people. Like it is just like making fun of wealthy people in a way that like no wealthy person could possibly enjoy. Just like vicious. It's so fucking funny. Like there's a scene in the most recent season where like Parker Posey is in it and she plays a wealthy mom and she's asked like, do you think that you could live with no money? And she says like, I think if I was poor, I wouldn't want to live. I'm too old for that kind of struggle. I don't want to do it. I just wouldn't want to live. Like it, and it's just like literally saying it without any bit of a joke. And like that is genuinely how rich people talk. And I love that the show actually does it. It's incredibly dark, but also funny.
I'll give Mike White, the creator of that series, I'll give him props. Like it's a great concept for a show.
It's a great concept. It's really well executed. Every season is like really tight, incredibly well cast. The characters are hilarious. Like one of the families in this season is based off of like a very wealthy family and like a D-list Bravo reality show, and like just perfect. Like really, really, really good shit. Did you know that Mike White won, I believe, a season of Survivor?
No.
Yeah, I think before he was even famous, he was on a season of Survivor and either won or got very close to winning.
A friend of mine is buddies with him, and
really?
was actually in the Italian White Lotus. He's
really?
Like briefly on the beach, like somebody's drowning, and you can see him like running around shirtless.
Damn, that's see, like that is the first episode. Is like where you can see somebody drowning, and then people are panicking, but you don't know who drowned.
So wait, somebody dies in every White Lotus, and that's the whole point? It's just about it's about killing somebody at a hotel?
It's a murder mystery. It's like about like you go to a hotel and you get to know all the people who are staying there and like why they're staying there and their backstories, and then you kind of like are trying to figure out the whole season, like the clues leading up to who's going to die and who's not going to die and what's a red herring and stuff like that.
Well, enough about this prestige television.
Yeah, because who gives a fuck about prestige television when we have the Baldwins on TLC, which is its own kind of prestige television, let's be real.
By the way, I can't wait to find out which of the Baldwins will die by the end of the season.
I mean, we saw a body face down on a carpet sort of covered in toys that Alec hadn't cleaned, in episode 1, and we're just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. It could be any number of characters. It could be a Baldwin. It could be Staff. It could be Hilaria's gay friend, who I don't remember the name of.
I think it's going to be one of the cats, just be floating in the pool.
I think it's going to be all 5 cats, and I think it will be that Alec poisoned them because he didn't want to die.
That's right.
So this episode of the Baldwins I appreciate the puns on the Alec Baldwin movies titles. This one is not like the best pun, but it works. So it's called Working Guy, which is a take on Working Girl.
Was he in Working Girl? I barely remember that movie.
I'm trying to remember which one. I'm like going to Google it right now. Which one is Working Girl? I feel like I've seen it. Does it have Sigourney Weaver in it?
Yeah, and it's like Melanie Griffith and Harrison Ford.
Oh, this fuck-ass movie. I hated that movie. That movie made me pissed as hell, dude. It was like, what if 9 to 5 was like pro-capitalism and like not fun? Like, what if 9 to 5 sucked, basically? Yeah.
9 to 5, all-time great. I mean, that was a big
all-time great movie.
Big movie Truly. For me as a kid. I used to watch that shit on HBO as a kid over and over
That's
again.
So funny. Tiny Brad watching 9 to 5, being like, 9 to 5,
by the way
to make a living.
Genuinely, little Brad Listi had a huge crush on Dolly Parton. Crush.
That is totally unsurprising to me. Like, as like a little kid, like Dolly Parton is like incredibly safe, has a very like sexy yet motherly kind of thing, where she kind of like has like big boobs and is like very like blonde and whatever, but also is like incredibly caring and kind and like could be on like a children's TV show and like fit in perfectly.
Yeah. I was so into it. She looked great in that movie too.
Oh yeah, she was fucking gorgeous. She looked amazing in that movie and was hilarious. She was like one of the best parts of that movie, which also had Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin. So like that's saying something.
And Dabney Coleman.
I don't know who that is. Who is
he
that?
Was the boss. He was the boss.
Oh, right. He was the boss who they like tied up in the basement.
Yeah. He was great. He died recently, I think.
Oh, did he? Damn, rest in peace. My mom, when she was a little kid, was a really huge Dolly Parton fan, like huge. And my grandpa, who was a movie director, he's retired now, but he dated this woman who was an actor, and I'm trying to remember her name. Mary Kay Place. She's been on a couple of things. She's actually a very good actor. My grandpa, I guess, briefly dated her, and she was on a children's TV show called Kangaroo. Maybe you'll remember.
Captain Kangaroo.
There you go. She was on Captain Kangaroo, and on that same episode, Dolly Parton was on Captain Kangaroo playing a song. And so my grandpa's girlfriend was like, Laura, my mom, do you want to meet Dolly Parton? And she's like, yeah. And she got to meet Dolly Parton. And Dolly Parton my mom said that she was so like in shock and like just like couldn't handle it, that she could barely talk. She like could barely even say anything to Dolly Parton when she was a little kid because she was so starstruck. And then Dolly Parton was like, you want an autograph, sweetie? And my mom was like, no. And like Dolly Parton just laughed and gave her an autograph anyway. So yeah, Working Girl. It's no 9 to 5, but I guess Alec Baldwin was in it, and he was not, hung up and shot or anything, which is a shame.
So this episode of The Baldwins is called Working Guy.
And I guess it's because a good portion of it was about Alec's like working professional life or whatever.
Well, this is the penultimate episode of the season and possibly the series. And to me, this is one of my least favorite episodes just because it was just so transparently a commercial for Alec Baldwin's acting career. This is it. It's like reaching its pinnacle. Like this is the realization.
Like the thesis is coming. Like you've had like the work up to it. You've had all the argument leading to the thesis, and then it's like here is the conclusion of the thesis, which is that Alec is, Alec's an actor or whatever, and like. Obviously, the whole show has been an advertisement for the Baldwin family, but this episode specifically was like Alec working advertisement. Like, let's get Alec an Oscar role, basically, is what they're trying to do here.
I think he's gonna go back to Broadway, like get back to his roots.
That's I was gonna say. It's like I feel like is gonna get some kind of Broadway role, be totally lauded, maybe win a Tony even, like, or be nominated for a Tony. And then that, I think, is going to eventually lead to him getting like the wrestler Mickey Rourke or whatever, like, coming back like as a, like, in a role where you're like, okay, wow, like he really did it in that role. Like he was all fucked up for so long and now he's incredible in this one role.
If he was up for an Oscar, I would be cheering so hard for him to win just to be able to watch this speech. It would be so
honestly
funny.
I never thought that I would say it, but like I don't want him to win. I still do think he's like a really bad person probably, but just because I would want to hear his Oscar speech and I would want to see Hilaria like be crying in the audience, and I would want to see what she would wear to the award show if he was not. I just want to see him nominated. I want to see him do an Oscar campaign so badly. Like just tired, like just like I feel like he would end up like yelling at one of the fucking interviewers or something. Like imagine him doing like publicity, like press for a movie all day long, ask the same questions by interviewers over and over and over again. Like it would be so fucking funny.
I wonder if there's going to be an appetite for a comeback with the public. I don't even know. It's hard to know.
That's the hope, with the show. I think that's the hope, is that like this show is going to endear people to the family enough that they will be open to a comeback.
I'm endeared.
Like it's working on you, and it's like literally almost worked on me. Like it's like they've done such a good job, which is shocking, that even I am nearly endeared to him. And like, I hate Alec Baldwin. And like, I think that he like basically murdered a woman. And like, even I feel nearly like close to being endeared to him. So it's a great advertisement. They did a really good job.
Well, and in this episode, they have his assistant. We haven't even heard about this woman, but Alec has a personal assistant. Yeah, I did wonder. There was a part of me that's like, wait, is she an actress? And they've hired her, but probably
right,
not.
because she comes onto the show and like this girl is like, well, first of all, she is like literally 6'2". She is like as tall as Alec, like feet taller than Hilaria, which like just seemed marked to me. Like my little sister is 6'2", and like it's pretty rare that you see somebody who's that tall and like not a model. Like it was like that part was just interesting to me that she was so huge, like hugely tall like that, and just she seemed like a good presence. Like I could see where she could handle Alec. Like she was like seemed like she had like she was like emotionally like had a stability about her that I think they all appreciate. But at the same time, she went on there and spoke so effusively about Alec that like she should be his publicist. Like she like instead of his assistant, she really like went out there and made Alec look likable in a very intense manner.
Listen, if Hilaria and Alec are calculating, like this is their play, like they've clearly thought a lot about this and they decided to do this reality show, it would not be impossible to hire an actress.
No.
And then just be like, yeah, she's my personal assistant. We will put her on camera.
Yeah. It would be easy for them to do that. Or even just like a family friend who would be like good at doing that. Like anybody, you know, like they could find somebody who works as an assistant who happens to be really good at speaking effusively like this and then hire them for whatever amount of time and like bring them on the show. But they did say that she worked for him for years.
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Okay. So not even that long, really. Like she's like, oh, I'm a member of the family. That made me feel like she'd worked for them for like 10 years, that she felt like part of the family, quote unquote. I mean, this is somebody who like, if you've ever worked like a retail job, you'll run into this kind of person where it's like, you know, you're being trained by corporate and they're telling you like, you know, you need to like adopt like, you know, Nordstrom's like set of values. And like, you need to make sure that you're like conveying our set of values to the customers in like an emotional manner. And like, as an employee, you know, your attitude towards that is to be like, okay, like whatever the fuck, I'm just here because I need to make money. Like I'm going to do like, you know, as best I can, but I'm not literally taking these values to heart like a religion. Like, and then you meet one of your coworkers who's probably your manager, they're probably a key holder or whatever the fuck. And you're like, damn, this bitch really did take the fucking values like all the way to heart and like believes them in her fucking day-to-day life. And she is like running American Apparel like the Navy, you know, like that's like, that is the kind of person that this assistant was. And I don't mean that as an insult even. She actually seemed very nice, but she like is super into the Baldwins. She's like, I've bought into the Baldwins 100%. This is my job and my life. I'm a member of the family.
I wonder what they pay her. Is she full-time? Like, I mean, is she like their like full-time employee, or is this just like somebody they pay like on a contract basis for like part-time work?
Well, so like she was going through like what she does with Alec, and she said what I've heard other assistants say, and Alec also said that other assistants say this, which is let's do the day or let's do the daily or something like that. I can't exactly remember. And that means that she sits down with Alec and she says, okay, here's the schedule for the day. You have like this phone call, you have, you know, this place to be, you have this lunch, blah, blah, blah. And like going through it and making sure that like he's knowing what is going on throughout the day. And as she says this, she mentions that Alec insists on using an MS Word calendar template, which is fucking crazy. That's like being like, okay, I need you to like Xerox and then fax things for me. Like it's so just like old and fucked up. And like as somebody who has done assistant work for old fucked up rich people, that strikes me as extremely real. And that is what made me feel like, oh, this is a real assistant. Because that is something that you would say to cameras as being funny and like something that you would have to deal with.
I love Microsoft Word. Their calendar template is exquisite.
Like, it is like, you would literally be better off like getting a piece of paper, writing a grid on it, and then just like saying, you know, here's what you're doing today. Like, it's like so crazy.
Not even I don't even use Microsoft Word's calendar. That's the kind of thing I would
does.
Do. Yeah.
Like, it's crazy because like, why the fuck? It's like literally harder. And also Alec isn't what stood out to me there that made me feel like it was real is that like Alec himself is not the one making and typing into this calendar. Clearly, it is his assistant. That is an assistant's job. And yet he still insists on her using an MS Word calendar template when it doesn't make a difference to him. She's just going through it and talking to him. And he's like, no. Anytime I look at this, it has to be this MS Word template. That's very like celebrity request for an assistant. That seems super real to me.
Yeah, I want to know. Like, is she cut in? Does she have a piece of this reality series? Like
I feel like she got paid extra to do this specifically.
You would think. I
mean, if she's showing her face on this show and like there's royalties involved in the show and like she's giving her, I mean, like I think that probably she was offered a bonus.
This is a long time ago. This is like not long after I moved to LA. I went to a party at some house in West Hollywood, and it was George Clooney's assistant. And George had bought her the house. It was like a housewarming party. But
Good for George. The hell yeah.
He just bought his assistant a house.
That's what you should fucking do. If you have a lot of these actors have assistants who've been with them for 15, 20 years, like managing their daily life. Like, that's somebody who you're going to be really close to and really grateful for. Buy them a house.
Or like leave them, like make sure that they're not going to like die in the streets, when they get old. Like you
make sure they're set up for their life. Make sure that they've hopefully the basics, health insurance, a good salary, blah, blah, blah. But like that person deserves a little bit of your wealth. Share it.
You would think.
They helped you.
I have 7 children.
That's what good people do.
I don't have enough money to take care of everyone.
That is the case with Alec. I'm sure this assistant is not going to get shit from Alec. Like the kids are barely going to get shit from Alec. There's so many of them.
It's a lot of kids to take care of. 7 children. Good Lord.
Oh God, so fucking many. So, but she's incredibly like complimentary of Alec, and you can tell like that her and Alec. And this is another moment in the show that like endeared me to him almost more than anything else. He queens the fuck out with Emily. They're friends. You can really tell he changes. He like acts differently with her.
Listen, do you think she's a lesbian? Is that like, because there was Gail the dog trainer, and then
I was gonna say I feel like lesbians love Alec and vice versa. Like he's like whatever the I'm not gonna say the F slur, but like F slur hag. He's that version, but for lesbians and a man. I don't know what you call that.
Well, but one thought that occurred to me. And this happened when he had, remember in a previous episode when he had his like normie buddies over and they seemed like good guys.
Yeah.
But like if this woman really is Alec Baldwin's assistant and they're on camera together, it seems like she likes him. It speaks well of him. Just the fact that the fact that she would do it. And like I get that like, if your boss asks you to do something, you kind of have to say yes, but
you don't have to talk the way that she did about it. She really went the extra mile to like show that she was part of this Baldwin family advertisement and wanted the public to see them how she saw them.
And she's friends with Hilaria too. They went out and got their eyelashes done, which was a revelation to me.
So, okay. Have you ever seen a woman get her eyelashes done before?
No, this is Brad Learns.
Brad Learns.
Right with his old flip phone. Doesn't know a thing. In a smart world, he's
all right, so today's Brad Learns is about getting your lashes done. So we were just talking about Alec's assistant, Emily. And I will say that the scene where her and Hilaria get her eyelashes done seemed the least realistic to me. I do feel like Alec and Emily are really close and really queen out, and her and Hilaria, like, maybe sometimes, do stuff together, whatever. But in this episode, they're getting their lashes done.
I sort of felt like Emily likes Alec more than she likes Hilaria.
Yes.
Or they're close. Like, she's closer with Alec.
I think her and Alec just, like, they bond more. They were truly queening out, going to the gym together, just chatting, being funny. Like, when they sat down for the camera, like she was like, Alec, which seat do you want? And he's like, I'll take this one. My left side's my good side. And Emily was like, fuck, like my left side is my good side. And he was like, too late, haha. Like, they have a funny dynamic.
Yeah.
But so Brad Learns, they were going and getting their eyelashes done together, which is a funny beauty treatment to decide to do on camera because it looks crazy. You've got like these papers over your eyes, and like you can't really talk because it's like, so okay, let me explain what getting your lashes done means. But first, I want you to guess. Just guess as to what like if I say I'm going to go get my lashes done, like if you had to guess what that means, what would you say?
I'm thinking like lash extensions, right? Don't women put extra shit on their eyelashes to make them seem longer?
Very good. Yes, they do. So when you get your lashes done, there's several things that they can do. One of them is dyeing your lashes. So like you, Brad, say you're naturally blonde. You'll notice that if you look at my eyelashes, they're pretty dark. Yours are pretty light. So you could dye your lashes darker to make them look more pronounced. Something else you can do is you can get a lash perm. So what a lash perm, or a lash lift rather, is what it is called, but it is a lash perm chemically. They take your lashes and essentially, lift them up. It's kind of like using an eyelash curler, but permanently. So like if your lashes are kind of like yours, a little bit low and don't flip up like this, like naturally, because kind of no one's do, then you can get a lash lift.
Do you do this? Do you go get your lashes? No.
I don't, because I was blessed with very full lashes naturally. And that also goes along with my eyebrow, singular one eyebrow that I have naturally, which I pluck, but I am a unibrow baby. So I've got that face hair and don't have to worry about getting my lashes done. But most people I know do it. And then the other thing you can do when you get your lashes done is like what you just said, which is lash extensions. And what they do with that is like, it's essentially like a more permanent version of fake lashes. So like if fake lashes are a wig, eyelash extensions are hair extensions, basically. So They go in on your eyelashes and they use a glue. But because it's a glue, it could potentially glue your eyelids together. So what they have to do, like you see in the show, is they take a piece of like paper, basically, that's like curved, and they put it on your eye right up to the waterline underneath your lashes. And then they will go very carefully with very steady hands and tweezers, and they will attach onto each eyelash a little piece to make it longer.
I have never in my life looked at a person and been like, wow, they have amazing eyelashes.
Well, this is the thing about women's beauty routines and procedures, etc. You're not supposed to look at a woman and be like, wow, she has great eyelashes. I mean, if you did, it would be like a compliment and that's fine. But like the effect of it is supposed to be making your eyes look bigger. It lifts your eyes. So it's like what a cat eye makeup does as well. It lifts. And so what it's supposed to do is just make you feel like, wow, her face is very pretty because look at how big her eyes are.
It makes them look like an anime character or something? Is that what it's?
Yeah, yeah, kind of. But some women go crazy with it, where it's like, you've probably seen, like, looked at people's faces and been like, how are you keeping your eyes open with your eyelashes like so gigantic like that? Or maybe you haven't, but
no, that's the only time I think I ever notice is when some woman's got these like obviously artificial like eyelashes on that are just like obnoxious on her
just
eye.
Crazy. Yeah. And like sometimes if you do it as like a style, like a drag queen kind of thing, then like I can enjoy that, but otherwise I'm not into it. Like if I got lash extensions, I think that is how I would look, just because my lashes are naturally longish. If I were to extend them, I think I would look freakish. But it's hard to say what exactly they were doing to their lashes. I think it was extensions, because I think that I saw someone in there with tweezers, but it also could have been a lift. I'm not totally sure. It could have been both.
I feel like Emily was
like, I don't, not to like stereotype her or something like that, but she really, in the way that she dressed well. I thought she was very stylish, but she does not strike me as the type who gets her lashes done. Like that's like, in terms of like vanity maintenance, like that's a lot even for me. Like I as someone with a unibrow, I don't even get my eyebrows done. Like that's like getting your lashes done is kind of another level. And I do feel like it was just for the show, and I feel like they would have gotten their nails done were it not for the fact that in a previous episode, Hilaria already got her nails done by a 15-year-old when they were talking about code switching. So I think the vibe that I get is Emily and Alec are friends and have a really funny dynamic. Emily had some really funny quotes about Alec when she was talking about him. And this is how I could tell that they were genuinely friends, because as much as she was really effusive, she also was making fun of him in a way that was like, kind-hearted and that only a close friend could do. So she was like, here's the thing about Alec. Any minor inconvenience, anytime something even vaguely goes wrong or he gets a hint that something is going to go wrong, he says, this is a disaster. Oh, this is a disaster. And then they go to a cut of Alec just walking into rooms. This is a disaster. Oh my God, this is a disaster. It's a disaster. This is a disaster. And like, it was hilarious. She was absolutely right. Like,
yeah, for sure. And she's got his number. And she also mentioned in a kind of tongue-in-cheek way, she said, I've never met someone who is as passionate about organization as Alec. Which I got to say, I thought to myself, like, well, maybe this OCD diagnosis is accurate. Maybe we...
Right. As soon as she said that, because I didn't believe Hilaria when he's just like cleaning up the house and she's like, you have OCD, you have OCD. But then when his assistant is saying that, like, assistants are fucking organized as hell. So if she's saying that, like, yeah, maybe he's got a little OCD.
Maybe he does.
Or just like control issues or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a huge fan of order and cleanliness and organization, so I have a hard time denigrating him for that.
Except you're not a huge fan of orderliness and organization when it comes to the notes that we write every episode for the show. And yes, I am airing you to the public, Brad. Fans of this podcast should know. Every week, we write out what we're going to talk about in the show. We take our notes on the Baldwins. We look at whatever pop culture things are happening, and we put them in a shared notes thing. And every single time, I spend like a good 15, 20 minutes, maybe more if I'm feeling insane, just reformatting what Brad has written, because it is always crazy. It's like he'll do like a dash, no tab. He'll do a dash and 4 tabs. He'll do just a quote with no dash. Who did this quote? Where did it come from? He'll do like topics in wrong order. It's all crazy. And so in that way, you were very much not organized. My studio might look like a literal disaster, but my documents are organized as hell.
This is a disaster. This document is an atrocious disaster.
Every time I look at the document, I think this is a disaster. I'm just like, Alec, this is a disaster. It's a disaster.
I got to tell people, too, that Mira's cleanup job is admirable. She really is good at organizing a document.
Thank you. I am very good at organizing documents. I'm a big fan of spreadsheets. I don't like MS Word calendar templates. I've never used them, but I'm very good at calendars in general. I was a editor and a social media manager and a personal assistant. And so, I've become very good at it.
Yeah.
If anybody ever wants to pay me to organize their documents, I am available, I guess, kind of, depending on the document. So the next in the show, Hilaria and Alec start discussing their parenting styles, which was really fucking funny, I had to say. Even though I agree this wasn't my favorite episode, this bit really got me. So they're discussing their parenting styles, and literally this segment of the show begins with Alec quoting King Lear from memory, seemingly, saying how sharper, well, maybe you should read this in Alec's voice, actually. You read it in Alec's voice.
How sharper a serpent's tooth is an ungrateful child.
So he says that, and Hilaria looks at him like, okay, Alec, like, what the, like, you and your bullshit again. And like, it's just so fucking, he's like so serious about it too. He's like, well, it's just like they say in King Lear.
I think he was with Carmen. Wasn't he with Carmen when he said that?
Yes, that's right. I think he was sitting next to Carmen, and Carmen, I think, straight up rolled her eyes, was just like, okay, here we go. Like, but also kind of agreed. Like, you can really tell that Carmen is the favorite child, and that like her and Alec also queen out.
Yeah.
That's the most lovable thing about Alec, I'm realizing. And these are the moments, the only moments when I'm endeared to Alec, is when he starts truly queening out. Like when he was on the farm talking to all of the different people who were cooking or whatever, queening out with everybody. When he was talking to his assistant, queening out. When he was talking to the dog trainer, queening out. There's, with Carmen, queening out always. He can queen out with the best of them. And for that, I do have some respect.
And yeah, I feel like this episode really brought to the fore, like how much like she's the favorite child.
Big time.
Or
like, for sure.
I mean, but it's also the thing too, is that sometimes certain adults, like they can't relate to younger kids. They have to get to it. They have to get to a certain age before, like, conversationally, it becomes like viable to hang out.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah. Like, I think some people are really good with like very, very young kids and being able to communicate with like kids who, you know, aren't kind of grown up in the way that they talk yet. And then there's some people who are much better at talking to kids who are, you know, 10, 11, 12, whatever. And some people who are less good at it. And Alec, like you're saying, clearly, I think once the other kids reach that age, although Carmen has something that I very much identify with, which is being the eldest girl in a family of many siblings. I'm the eldest girl of 6. So I get how it is. You can tell in this episode, Carmen is really babysitting the kids a lot. She's like really functioning as kind of like childcare for Alec and Hilaria. Not that they're forcing her, but just it just happens. You know, the kids are just around and you're hanging out with them and you end up doing that. And so I think it forced a kind of responsibility and organization onto Carmen that's very Alec. Like, she's very mature and very like calm and like is very like
sassy. She's a sassy.
Yeah. She's sassy. And Alec is sassy. And she's sassy in a way that Alec is, not in the way Hilaria is. And in fact, there's even a moment where the producer asks her, are you more like your mom? Or like, do you have aspects of you that are like your mom? Or are you just like your dad? And she's like, I'm not like my mom at all. Just instantly. She's like, I don't think I have it. And he's like, well, you have some aspects. And she's like, no, I'm not like my mom at all. I'm like Alec. And I think she's right. I totally believe it. She seems like she's much more like Alec than Hilaria.
Yeah.
There's almost no Hilaria in there.
I thought there was a section of the show where you see Carmen taking care of the youngest Baldwin child, like the baby, who's like probably 1.5, 2 years old, like up on her,
1.5, 2,
up on her feet, but not super verbal yet, and very cute.
Yeah,
but
very cute.
That was sweet. Like, she's actually
like seeing them play together and her picking up the baby and walking around like such a small body holding a whole baby, but like confidently. That was like adorable.
Totally. That's adorable. So, I don't know. I thought that the kids were charming. They had Romeo. Is it Romeo or Romeo?
So, okay, that really confused the fuck out of me because I distinctly remember Hilaria using her special, you know, Spanish accent. And my whole Mexican family makes fun of me because I can't roll my R's. And that's basically a speech impediment if you're in a Spanish-speaking country. But there is a part where Hilaria says, like, Romeo. Like and rolls her R's like in a Spanish accent.
Romeo.
But then in this, yeah, exactly like that. And I distinctly remember it was like Romeo and Julia, Romeo. But then in this episode, Alec is calling him Romeo, like Alfa Romeo. Like what the fuck is this kid's name?
Yeah,
I don't know, but
well, I think like Romeo is the American pronunciation, and Romeo is like maybe the Spanish.
Well, but it's the other way around because Hilaria was saying Romeo and Alec was saying Romeo. Yeah,
but I'm just saying that both probably get used depending on which version of themselves they are.
Right.
You know.
But then it's especially funny that she used the Spanish accent to say the American version of Romeo. And like there is a part where Hilaria is talking about parenting styles and she says, we're very focused on our kids being kind to each other, which is a great thing to say. But I just do need to point out that like 1 or 2 episodes ago, Romeo called Carmen a dumb bitch at the dentist for absolutely no reason. So I don't know how honest that is. But there's a part where they have Romeo on camera just alone, or Romeo on camera just himself. And you could hear Hilaria behind the camera. She's like, or maybe it's even the producer, I'm not sure, but saying like, can you do an impression of your dad? And his impression, I was like, oh, you turned into Alec for a second. It was like he literally like channeled Alec's voice and it came out of a child. Like that impression, like that kid should in the future be on SNL doing an Alec Baldwin impression. He was so fucking funny.
It might be. I mean, like he's got the genes, right? These performance genes.
I mean, clearly it's like something in the genes because like I don't even know. I have to assume this is an impression that he's done before and that's why the producer was asking. But to develop that as a 6-year-old child, like I can do impressions of my parents now that are pretty funny, but not at 6 years old.
Well, it should be said that Alec Baldwin is a gifted mimic. Like he can do, yes, he can do really funny. Like maybe you can't do everybody, but the ones that he does, he can do with like.
What does he do besides like Trump?
He does Pacino. Like his Trump impression isn't good in my view.
I agree. I didn't think it was very good.
But he's got like some of the facial tics. And I mean, he's got some. It's okay.
Physically, it was okay, and like but it wasn't. It's not the best.
No, and I think that I've heard him do Pacino, and it's like really funny. He did De Niro, and I thought that the faces he was making, it was like uncanny the way that he's able to sort of like become.
He did do a really good De Niro. That's true. I guess that makes sense. He's like, and Hilaria was really emphasizing in this episode how he is an actor. Like he's an actor, because in this same segment where they're talking about parenting styles and where they're, showing Carmen playing with the baby and stuff, Alec kind of repeatedly was talking about his age, and like throughout the whole episode, but especially in this parenting bit. And like kept kind of saying over and over in like a "me she doth protest too much" kind of way, that like he's going to stay home and be with his kids, and he wants to stay home and be in a family, and all he wants to do is stay home and be with his kids, and like I want to stay home and be with my kids. And also saying over and over again, I'm old. I know, like I'm old. I want to stay home with my kids. And like saying it so much where you're like, okay, like who are you trying to convince, me or you? Like what's going on there, Alec? And also, it's like, we get it. You're fucking old. You're old as fuck. We can tell by looking at your face. Nobody in the world is more obviously old than you, Alec. Like, even Betty White somehow seemed less old than you.
He's 60. He's a 66-year-old man.
That is not that old considering how his face looks. I gotta be real. So he, like there's at one point, he, like, in the middle of a conversation just says, like, well, let's pause and make it very clear that I am old and fat. Which was really fucking funny, but also like, yeah, no shit. But then Hilaria, at every opportunity, is like chiming in, like, he loves his family and he's an actor. Those are the two things about Alec. He loves his family and he's an actor. And saying like, Alec would never walk away from acting. And I think she's probably right. But I think also she wants him out of the fucking house. She's like, I like, go work, like go on set. Like, you're annoying me, Alec.
Right. The guy's 66 years old. He's got plenty of money, and she's like desperate to have him go back to work. Like, isn't he like he's like at retirement age? He should be, and he's got all these kids. He should be at home.
Yeah, he should be at home. I mean, she's probably just seeing actors working into their old age and being like, Alec, see, you could do that. You go ahead, even though it's like not. It's not like these actors are like working. It's not like De Niro is out here working as much as he was when he was a young man. Like that's like,
maybe not, but he's working a lot for a guy his age.
Kind of an exception.
He's like Alec. He's got a 3-year-old. Robert De Niro does. These guys, and Al Pacino has a baby too. All these guys are having kids in their 80s and they're like late age.
There's going to be like all of these celebrities are going to end up having like what? Like their children are going to be younger than their children's children. Like their grandkids are going to have uncles that are like, or whatever the fuck. I don't even know how that works. Like, but I'll bet that like, does Al Pacino have a kid now who is younger than one of his grandchildren?
That I don't know. But I just gotta, the thing I don't envy that scenario. Like it's bad enough for a guy like Alec Baldwin, but imagine being like 80 something and you're holding your baby just going, God, like clock's ticking. Like,
also, like it's like it physically like a lot of exertion to like take care of a baby. Like once they get to that, like, you know, walking around age, you're chasing them around and then you're always holding them in your arms and you're picking them up and dropping them. And like, if you're old, that's much harder.
Yeah. But let's be honest. They've got that team of nannies like at all times. Like,
well, that's the thing is that like, you know, what they're doing is making sure that like their kids are going to have a dad who dies when they're young, but the kids are going to be taken care of just fine. Even if fucking, you know, Al Pacino's in a wheelchair. Yeah.
That's the thing about it is like, is it even responsible to procreate past a certain age? Because it's like, there's just too high of a likelihood that you're not going to be around to raise the child.
I mean, it's not just a high likelihood, it's a certainty. Like, it's like if you're like, you know, fucking Al Pacino's age, your child is like gonna have a dead dad before they're 20.
That's what I mean. Well, unless they live to be like 105, but I don't feel like Al Pacino's.
I mean, isn't that like the like world record of like how old? Like it's like 110 or something like that.
I want to say on my Instagram, I just received word that it was 122, and the woman who lived that long was like drinking and smoking her whole life. But that could be.
Oh no, I remember she said that the key to longevity for her was drinking Coca-Cola every day and I believe it was not getting married, like not being around men.
That's the key.
It is the key. Makes women die faster. Maybe that's why Hilaria wants Alec out of the house.
Yes. You're going to.
She's like, you're killing me.
You're going to kill me.
You're going to kill me with your hip problems and your old face and no Botox.
No quiero estar muerta.
So, and in this segment, Hilaria also admits that Alec has a hip problem. She says, his hips also, just kind of in passing. But I feel like that we were talking about that a few episodes ago when he was walking all crazy.
Please, God, let this show be renewed so that we can get to the Alec Baldwin hip replacement episode.
Oh my God. He'll be such a nightmare. Like, all men are like the worst when they're sick. They like just become fucking babies. And it's like just an absolute nightmare to the point where you're like, I would rather be sick twice than like my fucking husband being sick. Like, it's just true. Like, y'all are babies when you're sick. Imagine how bad Alec is going to be post hip replacement. Everybody is going to be in hell. He's going to have like a bell and like demanding all kinds of shit. Be so high on painkillers.
Yeah, I'm kind of I don't like being sick. I guess nobody does, but when I'm sick, I am kind of.
Oh, you don't like being sick? That's shocking.
Yeah.
I love it. It's my favorite.
Yeah, I don't handle it well. I always like try to power through, and like I get angry. It's like,
yeah, angry. That's what it's so fucking weird the way that men react to being sick. They like get like angry and upset, and then you try to help them, and they're like, "No, I don't want that." Like, meh. And it's like, motherfucker, like, and sometimes they won't often won't just take the medicine that'll make them feel better. Like, and it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, take a Tylenol and watch a movie and calm down.
Right. No, like I think what I try to tell myself is like when a wild animal is like sick in the forest, it doesn't like get neurotic about it. It just lies down.
Yeah.
It sleeps.
It's like, I mean, it's not like I am like on multiple medications for anxiety and the fucking panic attacks and all kinds of shit like that. But like when I'm sick, I just lie the fuck down. I don't fucking freak out and like decide that I'm angry about it.
You're like, wait a minute, I'm sick. I need to lie down. Oh wait, I'm already lying down.
Yeah, I've been here for weeks.
I've been on this couch.
This is not a lifestyle change for me.
I was 100% ready to be sick. I was prepared.
I've been preparing for this my whole life. So, okay, so then we move on to favorite child, Carmen. And they talk a little bit, they've mentioned it in the past, but talk a little bit about Carmen's obsession with skincare. Which, like, I don't know if you followed, like, these articles that were coming out around the holidays about how kids are now asking for specifically this one brand, Drunk Elephant, which is a very expensive skincare brand that you find at, like, Sephora. Are you aware of it?
Yeah, I can't remember if it...
Did Evan ask for it?
Maybe. I don't know.
She probably did, because it's, like when I was that age, when I was, like, 11, 12... For me, it was like you want like the Wet n Wild brand glitter eyeshadow, or you want like the fucking, I can't even remember what the brand was, but whatever brand, like lip gloss that's like root beer flavored or whatever the fuck. And now for the kids, it's like I want like the Sephora special moisturizer that has this like special pump and nice, colors on the bottle and like whatever. And this is the kind of stuff that, like, I, used years ago. Like, it's existed for years and years and been in Sephora and something that, like, people who like skincare love.
Have kids always been into skincare?
No, that's the thing. So kids like that, like, that's what I mean. It's like kids used to be, because, like, you get to a certain age if you're a girly girl and you see your mom doing makeup or whatever and you, like, want to get into it and it's, like, fun. And you get nail polishes and you get, mascaras and all the stuff. And kids are still doing that. But I think because of like social media and just trends in general, skincare has also become a part of that whole thing.
Yeah.
So if you're like,
I don't remember any of this shit from when I was growing up. I mean, people wash their face.
No, they didn't have it.
Right. Okay.
It's like, skincare has like, of course, skincare has always existed. You hear about Marilyn Monroe's skincare routine in the 50s and it was all crazy and like multiple steps or whatever. But in the recent years, skincare has become a much bigger topic, I guess, than it has been in the past, to the point where skincare is now something that younger girls who are like experimenting with being girly girls want to do in addition to makeup. It's like a fun thing. Like they have, there's certain trending brands that they want to get. And like you can see that Carmen has a lot of these trends. She has like The Ordinary, which is like a brand that people really like. And she's got, the Drunk Elephant, which is what a lot of the kids want and things like that. And what your daughter probably asked for.
She's got Evan's got River doing it too. He does skincare routine at night with her. They do it together.
That is so adorable and so funny. And I would like you to ask Evan what the skincare routine is and what product she uses and let me know because I'm very curious.
Oh, she'll send you a video. Like she makes these.
Oh, please.
She makes
Get ready with me?
Yeah, she does that. She makes these with CapCut, or is that what it's called? The little.
I have no idea. I've never made one.
It's like an editing software on your phone, but she'll like.
Wow.
She does these videos that are like really well edited, and it's just like I'm getting ready, and this is my makeup, and this is my moisturizer, and.
Send it to me. I want to see. Because, I mean, like, my feeling is that, like, the stuff that I was wanting to buy as a kid, like these disgusting flavored chapsticks and these, like, horrible glitter, whatever the fuck, crazy shit, which was fun and, like, fine, whatever, is, like, a lot of people have been like, oh, my God, like, little kids now are, like, getting into skincare so young. And that's, like, terrible. Like, the beauty standards, whatever the fuck. I'm sorry, but like kids putting on like moisturizer is actually like a lot better for them than them putting on these like weird glitters and pigments and crazy shit constantly. It's fine.
I was gonna say, like, if you're like rubbing like root beer flavored shit, it's gotta be toxic.
It's toxic as hell, and it's like kids now. It's like okay, they want like what is actually like a very well made and like pure like skincare product that is not going to be bad for their skin. It's just a moisturizer. You could put it on a baby. It's nothing. And in fact, in this episode. When Carmen was playing with the baby, it was one of the funniest moments because she does skincare on the baby and she's holding up these skincare products to this toddler who is just learning how to kind of babble and talk a little bit and being like, okay, so do you want to do this one today? And she's like, no. And she's like, okay, smell this one, putting a thing up to the baby to smell. And baby's like, no. And you holding up another one for the baby to smell. And she's like, yeah. And then you can see she like puts little drops on the baby's face and rubs it in or whatever. And then it cuts to Carmen doing a one-on-one interview. And she's like, I do the baby skincare about once a week. Like, it's just like part of her routine.
She's like, I rub beef tallow on my baby sister.
Beef tallow as skincare is like such a triggering topic for me. It makes me so mad that like I like won't even go into it because I could do an entire podcast on how stupid it is to rub beef tallow on your face. Don't fucking do it. Just don't fucking do it.
But it repairs the collagen. It repairs the cell
no,
structure.
the fuck it doesn't. No, the fuck it doesn't. Don't fucking listen to anyone who tells you that it does what retinol does. And one thing I will say, and Brad, you should remember this. If Evan ever asks for anything with retinol in it, don't give it to her. She's too young for it. It's not good for your skin at that age. Beyond that, it's safe. Everything is fine.
I use like CeraVe and a Dermalogica.
You could use a retinol, but not because you're in the sun too much.
Yeah, because then it makes my skin photosensitive. But I just use like a basic drugstore moisturizer.
Honestly, like that's like there's a lot of very, you can do a many-step skincare routine and it can be very good for your skin. But truthfully, I've done a lot of really extensive skincare routines and my conclusion has been that really all you need, if you're at very most, is a double cleanse and a good moisturizer.
I use a serum too. You know who got me? Like one of my podcast guests, Ingrid Rojas Contreras. She has this beautiful skin, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "You got to get a serum." And so I was
what serum do you use? I want to try it. See, you could also use like these are the things where it's like you can add them to your routine and it'll make your skin look especially nice sometimes, but it's not necessary.
I like the feeling it tightens. It gives you this feeling of like firm.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's called.
What is it? I want to buy it.
The Glow Maker.
The Glow Maker. All right, you're gonna have to text me that when we're off thing because I'm always into buying new skincare. See, I'm like saying like you need a simple skincare routine. Yet new serum. I'm like, yes, give it to me. I want to put it all over my face. Let's have fun.
But it is simple because it's like all I did. The only thing that I tweaked at Ingrid's direction was I usually used to just wash my face at night, but now I wash it in the morning. And then I put on...
Ingrid gave you good advice.
Yeah, and then I put the serum on, and then I let that settle in, and then I do a layer of moisturizer, and then I do sunscreen.
See, you're doing great. Everybody, men out there who are confused about their skincare routine, listen to Brad. That's exactly right. Women too, it's a great skincare routine.
And then at night, I wash my face and then moisturize. That's it.
Yeah, perfect. and you could switch it to serum at night or serum in the morning, depending on the serum, wonderful. I think that Carmen would approve.
I would hope so. I would hope so. But she did rip on Alex. It was so fun, or Alec. It was so funny because we've been talking about this like in past episodes. I think you've sort of been noting that Alec needs to wash his face.
Yes, his pores are so crazy. And there's a moment, I think is what you're talking about, where she looks at Alec and she says, "You haven't washed your face in 60 years." And like, that is exactly right, Carmen. Thank you for saying it. He needs to wash his face. He needs to exfoliate. It's crazy.
Wait, when you wash your face, does it naturally exfoliate or no? You have to like...
I mean, a tiny bit, but no. Like, Alec needs like a chemical exfoliant. It's just you get to a point sometimes where, and I don't recommend using exfoliators all the time or at all if you don't need them, but some people do need to exfoliate occasionally. And I think Carmen would agree Alec is one of them because his face is looking all crazy. He's got all kinds of crazy pores and fucking weird creases and all kinds of shit that like he could just exfoliate and would look a little better. And maybe when I said last episode that I thought his Botox kicked in, maybe he just started doing Carmen's skincare routine.
He could do worse. That kid knows what she's talking about. She's formidable.
She does.
She's a smart kid. I mean, like she's probably a handful and she's a little bit, I don't know. I hope she's a nice girl to the other kids in her class. I could see her being a mean girl.
Yeah, I could see it too. But at the same time, I really relate to Carmen because she's clearly, like, again, eldest daughter, has clearly like had to mature very much like pretty quickly because, you know, there's just younger kids and it's like you just have to like not be a baby after a while. And that I think does give a kid a little bit more empathy than they otherwise would have. Like, you know, I was like the opposite of a bully. I was bullied, if anything. And I do feel like Carmen is confident and like, you know, understands herself and like is like driven clearly and like it may be a bully, but
but she has a big personality.
Personality, yes.
Very sweet to her siblings.
Extremely sweet. Like even when her brother called her a dumb bitch, she didn't like respond and say "fuck you." She was just like, "All right, he says that, whatever." Like,
well, she was in a
dentist chair also, so like she kind of was couldn't really do much.
Yeah,
she's got these tools in her mouth and everything like that.
But I think like the big, like we've sort of buried the lead because the big reveal of this episode for me is the fact that Carmen has a book deal, like just casually has a book deal at age 11 or whatever.
And like Hilaria, I think you called it in an earlier episode, like she really wants to be Kris Jenner so badly. She really like is trying to be a mini Kris Jenner where she's like, you know, I saw that Carmen was into skincare. And so I realized like there was like a niche here that she could fill. And like, I got her a book deal, like not just being like letting your kid have a hobby, being like, all right, we got to like monetize this. We got to make her famous off this. Like Hilaria wants her to be a skincare influencer bad.
And like, yeah, they did like a photo shoot together where they're doing like yoga poses. I mean, it was like
very Kardashian.
Yeah. So I don't even know what a skin. So that means like on YouTube, Carmen would be telling people how to do their skin, and then she would be selling products or promoting products.
Promoting products likely. And then, you know, you could like make that launch into your own skincare company, or usually is what it is. Like you become an influencer with really nice skin. You give people routines and methods and advice and, you know, advertise products, etc., which is certainly what Hilaria wants.
I think they're going to have their own line. It's going to be like,
that's the ultimate goal, I think.
It'll be called Carmen, or it'll be called something with like a Spanish flair. It's got to be.
Yeah, they'll like come up with something better than Carmen. It'll be something really clever. And if it's well made, it'll do well. That's the thing about skincare is like, if it's good skincare, it doesn't matter where it comes from. Everybody will buy it. So maybe she'll be really successful. I do feel like Hilaria saw the skincare hobby and got like dollar signs in her eyes. Like that's the vibe that I got. And maybe it'll work out.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Probably.
So to close out the episode, basically, so for a moment, Danny, who is Hilaria's gay bestie, aka, in Brad's opinion, the rug delivery guy who she was flirting with.
Was that the same guy? I don't know if that was the same guy. Oh,
that was the same guy. There's been one gay bestie the whole show, and it was Danny, who is revealed to be their very close friend who stuck with them through the shooting and how meaningful that is. And all of this leading up to a scene of Hilaria in the bathroom getting ready with him and deciding to discuss her boob job openly on camera. like her being like, well, I did get, I got some work done, and then just talking about nursing and how, your boobs inflate and they deflate, and then it's like they're hanging lower than you want them to, and she wasn't feeling like herself, and she got a boob job, which was all I felt totally honest and totally real. But it's so funny that she, for a second, could think that anybody doesn't know that she has a boob job. Like, come on. Like,
right.
It's very, very clear. You're not, like, confessing anything that anybody doesn't know. Like,
well,
she acted like it was a huge reveal.
Well, that, and she didn't talk about all the other plastic surgery that she's had.
Right. Like the nose job and the eye lift and all of that stuff. I think it was like a way to avoid talking about those things.
Yeah. She's like, I'll give you the boobs. I did the boobs. Everybody
knows. Like, okay, I did the boobs, which, right. Yeah. Exactly. Everyone knows. So whatever.
Well, but those boobs are like sitting up so high on her chest. It's like, it's not even like remotely natural.
It makes no sense. Not remotely natural. Like, they're almost like the, like, 90s style, like, hard boob jobs. Like, it's not like if it were, me, I would have gotten, like, the what is it, the liquid boob jobs where they put, like, saline into your boob instead of, like, a implant. I think she got implants, which is, like, it's a strange, I mean, it looks good on her, but it's, like, a very fake look. Like, it's like, oh, okay, I have big fake boobs. And she's also teeny tiny. And, like, someone like, that small doesn't have boobs that big.
Doesn't eat a ton. There's no way.
Yeah, like she's
I was noticing. I was noticing how frail she looked.
Mm-hmm.
Like her arms are very like kind of like
she's very thin,
like Angelina Jolie's arms. Like
yeah, no, that's true. Like she doesn't like. I feel like Hilaria hasn't like gotten too far, but she's like close to maybe being a little bit too skinny. Like she's definitely, yeah, very very thin, and. So basically immediately after she says she got a boob job, the episode closes out with a date night with Hilaria and Alec, in which Hilaria drives and she then has to parallel park. And she's like, oh my God, you're going to make me parallel park on camera? Like, oh no. And Alec is trying to instruct her, like, okay, turn the wheel left, turn the wheel right. And then it's, she's not getting in. She's like, Alec, it's your fault. You didn't instruct me right. And like, So basically, Hilaria can't park and Alec can't drive. How do they function?
I mean, I got to say, though, parallel parking on camera I can see. That's huge.
Yeah, very nerve-wracking. That totally makes sense. But, like, I guess I also kind of, like, get a little judgmental about driving or something like that because having grown up in Los Angeles, I got my license when I was, I think, 17, which is like late in Los Angeles. Everyone has their license at like 15. And back in my day, you had to parallel park as part of the driver's test. And you had to freeway drive as part of the driver's test. And so I guess maybe I feel kind of like how you do about Ozempic, where I'm like, I worked for this. I worked to learn how to parallel park. And now everybody doesn't have to do it on their driver's test and their cars just tell them how to parallel park. And like, you people need to learn how to parallel park. Like, I felt literally judgmental about Hilaria not being able to parallel park, which is so unreasonable.
I think living in Los Angeles makes you a better driver. You have to be.
Or a much worse driver. It kind of depends. You could go either way.
I guess.
If you like move to Beverly Hills, I think you just immediately automatically become a worse driver in some way that I don't fully understand because those fuckers are out of their goddamn minds. I hate driving in Beverly Hills.
I was a pizza delivery guy for many years.
I did not know that.
Yeah, like 3 different franchises in my youth.
Which franchises?
Papa John's, and then Mountain Mike's and Mad Mushroom. These were in Boulder. Mountain Mike's and Mad Mushroom.
Pizza delivery driver. Wow.
So yeah, but I mean, you get good at driving and you learn shortcuts and, but yeah, they had this dinner and it was their date night and Alec, he ran into one of his actor friends, Chaz Palminteri.
Yeah, who I believe, was he in The Sopranos?
Maybe.
I think he was in The Sopranos or something. He was Italian in some way. Yeah, and they were talking. Alec was like immediately turned on the charm as soon as he saw him there, was like, so excited. And then they're like driving home and Alec, to close out the whole episode, it's like the last thing he says, he looks at the car and he goes, Hilaria, I'm not kidding. I think there's turkey poop on your car. like, okay, like last time it was cheese and now it's turkey poop. Like, what is going on in the world of the Baldwins? Why is, like, what is falling from the sky above their Hamptons home?
This is a disaster. The turkey is defecated on the hood of your Range Rover.
Like, why is it a turkey? Is Alec insane or is some weird shit going on? Is he cursed by like a very strange witch? Like, what the fuck?
I think they have turkeys on their property, like wild turkeys, and but I thought they can't fly.
Turkeys
I don't know.
Can't fly.
Like,
they literally can't. How could they get up onto the Range Rover? It seems impossible.
Maybe they can flutter. Maybe they can like jump up and fly like a little
Not
bit.
that high. They're really pathetic birds. They're like really like fat and can get like 2 feet off the floor. And it's like very sad how dumb they are.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's really got something with the car though, where it's cheese and it's turkey poop. Like, why? It's always so specific. It's never just like there's some stuff on your car. It's like, no, that is cheese. Like, are you sure, Alec?
How sharper a serpent's tooth is a incontinent turkey.
So I guess that's I mean, I can't think of a way to transition that into our next pop culture topic.
Let's pause and make it clear that I am old and fat.
He's got some really good fucking quotes in this show, I gotta say. Like when the dog trainer came in last episode and he was like, "How are you? My pants are falling off."
He's a funny guy.
This is a disaster. This is a disaster. He's really got like, clearly not gay, but he's got a very like gay tone to his voice sometimes. He comes, "Oh, this is a disaster. Oh, everything's a disaster. It's falling apart."
He's
he's
a fucking actor. He's an actor.
He's Queenie. He's a New York queen. He's a classic New York queen.
Yeah, he's been in like in the theater. He's like been hanging out with theater kids for 50 years.
There was a part where I think it was when he was talking about Carmen in her skincare. She'll also do makeup. It's part of it. Like you do your skincare and then you do your makeup. And he's like, Carmen and her friends will be up there doing their makeup for like 3 hours. And like, I've worked with some of the biggest Hollywood stars and they do not 3 hours. He was like, it'll take them like 45 minutes to do their lashes. And I've worked with some of the biggest Hollywood stars and it doesn't take them 45 minutes to do their lashes. I call bullshit. It takes them longer than 45 minutes to do their lashes. A glam takes like 3 fucking hours. Like, Alec doesn't know what he's talking about, actually.
Yeah, he's like, I haven't washed my face in 60 years.
Look at me, I'm beautiful.
Yeah. Let me hold forth on the beauty secrets of Hollywood actresses.
It's like, as you can tell by the texture of my skin, which is very clear.
And mottled with sunspots and old age spots.
The bags on my eyes are bigger than everybody else's bags. It's gorgeous.
He's gonna do Ozempic. It's a guarantee. It's a lock that Alec Baldwin is going to.
I'm shocked he hasn't done it yet.
I am too. But he's going to lose like 50 pounds in the next year or two, and he's going to return to acting.
Yeah,
that's the prediction.
And if he doesn't, I think then we can be certain that there's something wrong with a couple of his organs that is making it so that he can't take Ozempic. Because why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Well, neither of the subjects of our next two topic have taken Ozempic, I don't think, right?
I don't know.
I don't think there's any significant weight loss. Madonna and Elton John are who we're talking about. So, unbeknownst to me, I guess there has been like a 2-decade or more long feud between Madonna and Elton John that kind of has like no origin that really makes any sense.
I wasn't even aware of this.
I was fully unaware of this. And it seems, while reading up on it, it really does seem like Elton John is just a bitch. Like, he's just like a bitch. And like, Madonna is also a bitch. And like, they just like, so basically what happened.
Yeah, what happened? Like
So what happened is that like in the early 2000s, Elton John made a bunch of comments about the James Bond theme song that Madonna wrote for Die Another Day. The song was also called Die Another Day. In 2002 is when she wrote the song. And then Elton John said that it was the worst Bond tune ever. And that
haven't they all been bad? Like, has there been a good one?
I feel like they're all mid. Like, I feel like none of them are terrible, but they're all kind of like, who cares?
Yeah, like who's sitting around? Who's sitting around listening to a Bond song playlist on Spotify?
Some profoundly strange person, I'll say that. Yeah. Like, strange in a way that I never want to know about. Strange in a way that isn't in like the DSM-5. Like,
I was gonna say, yeah, some weirdo in his basement.
Although I will say, Die Another Day is like, if I had to sing a Bond theme song, it might be the only one that I could like that I know the tune of off the top of my head. So in that sense, it might be better than other ones, I guess.
I find James Bond so fucking boring. Who gives a shit?
Same. I like want to care about it. I like the Bond girls, you know, like fashion wise. Like I think that they're cool, but like I don't care about James Bond. I just don't. Like, I wish I cared more, but I just don't.
Yeah, I like. What's the Matt Damon spy movies? The Bourne.
Ocean's 8.
Bourne Identity. The Bourne Ultimatum. I can watch that shit because it feels like a travel documentary with like.
I don't think I've ever seen, like, what is it?
It's he's like a CIA dude. He's kind of like James Bond, but he's got amnesia and he doesn't know who he is.
He's like brain damaged James Bond.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually like they did a funny spoof on it, I think, on Saturday Night Live, where they were like, you know, who am I? Like, because like the whole, like, it's a trilogy, and it's, you know how when you do a trilogy, you sort of run out of material. Mm-hmm. And it's like, how many times can we hear Matt Damon be like, who am I? Like, if you've seen the movies, it's just endless.
That is so fucking funny. I had no fucking idea that it was like, what if James Bond was like Dory from Finding Nemo? Like, that is hilarious.
Well, but also like it's got more of like a human quality. Like James Bond is kind of a cartoon. He's just like this MI6 dude who kills everybody, but he doesn't seem to have a conscience about it, and he's just making jokes, and you know, I don't know, it's silly.
Yeah, he's just, you know, fucking women, and that's his like main thing.
I distinctly remember seeing Octopussy in the theater as a kid, being like,
oh, Octopussy, classic.
Yeah. That was like,
I mean, again, I don't care about the movie, but you know, the girl.
Roger Moore was the James Bond of my childhood, and he was kind of like a minor Bond. It was like Sean.
He was a better Bond, though. Like,
at least he was funny. Like, he was actually overtly funny. Like, he saw the joke in it that I think others haven't. Like Daniel Craig was like, he played it like dead serious, and like.
I didn't like Daniel Craig that much. Pierce Brosnan was fine, I guess.
He had a little bit of that like rakish charm, like that kind of.
Yeah, but I like the funny ones. Like, you kind of want them to be funny and like whatever, charming and less serious.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so Madonna and Elton John have this like long feud.
It started over the Bond theme song, and then he accepted an award, and while he was accepting the award, he questioned that Madonna had been nominated at the same award show for Best Live Act, and in his award speech said, "Since when has lip syncing been live?" You know, accusing Madonna of lip syncing.
That's fair.
Then later that year, she denied lip syncing, and later that year, he told an Australian reporter that Madonna's career was over and called her a quote nightmare. And this is like since then they've just been feuding, like, and not speaking.
Did she fire back? Like, did she ever come back at him?
Shockingly, it seems like no. So like her representative said she wasn't lip syncing, and they were competing for original songs in 2012 at the Golden Globes. And Elton John said that Madonna didn't stand a chance of beating him, but then she won. And after she won, she said that she hoped that he would continue speaking to her for the next couple of years and, you know, end the feud and like stop being this way. So she's kind of been graceful about it, actually.
Yeah, it's not like her, right? She's usually.
Yeah. I guess Elton is just such a frightening gay. He's like just like really like so powerfully gay that Madonna even was like, I can't compete. I don't want to start this. Like, don't beat me up, Elton, please. I'm begging you.
And I think she grew up with his music. I want to say she's like a fan of his. And but the whole thing is that they reconciled.
So yeah, I guess like backstage at SNL this week, they reconciled, and they both posted like really long Instagram posts like with long captions about like how they're, you know, reconciling and they're good friends. And Elton John, I guess, even he apologized and like I won't read the whole quote because it's like insanely fucking long, but it's very heartfelt, and like Elton John seems to like really, genuinely regret it or whatever, and he's like hugging Madonna. I mean, he said like apparently what happened is that they saw each other backstage and she went to confront Elton more or less and say like what's going on, and instantly when he saw her, he blurted out, "Forgive me." And then she was like, "We're good." And now we're friends.
What a coward. I don't like it. I think they should have come to blows. I want to see a physical altercation. Who do you think would win? 2 decades of shit talking. I think Madonna would beat him to a pulp.
I would put a lot of money on Madonna. I think Madonna might like literally actually kill Elton John like with a single punch to the face. I think that's certainly possible. She's buff.
Yeah.
She's fucking ripped. Elton John, not so much.
No, and I feel like the kind of shit that he said about her, like
he called her a fairground stripper.
Yeah, in public, and it's just like, okay, like,
and for no reason at all.
Right.
Just out of nowhere. And like Elton John is clearly like a bitch. I don't think he's a nice person. I think he's pretty mean. And I think he can be mean in like a very funny way. Like Chappell Roan told a story of, because him and Chappell Roan are like friends. He like, came out and was like, "I love what she's doing. I love her whole thing. Like she's fantastic." She recently performed at his AIDS Foundation charity and they performed Pink Pony Club together, etc. But Chappell said that she met Elton the first time by getting a random FaceTime call from a phone number she didn't recognize. And then she picked it up and it was Elton John on FaceTime. And he just looked at her and he goes, "What are you wearing, honey?" Because she was just in like inside pajama clothes or whatever, not dressed up at all. And Chappell was just speechless, like, whoa, like, what the fuck? Like, imagine how shocking it would be to get that. And then Elton John's on the other, and you're like, what the fuck? And then
he's FaceTiming people out of the blue.
Out of nowhere, just getting her phone number from who knows where. And then first thing, before even saying hi, for someone he's never spoken to before, says, "What are you wearing?" So, like, he's really an asshole.
Didn't he retire? I thought he was done. Didn't he do that big grand farewell concert or whatever?
Yeah, I don't think he's really performing at all anymore, or like making any new music or anything like that. Like he at his
maybe he's not touring. Maybe he's just not touring anymore.
Yeah, he might be making new music. I'm not sure, but none has come out recently, and he's not touring. I think he is basically retired. Maybe doing one-off performances.
It would have been so great if Madonna would have just like walked into the room and just
decked him.
Just taken a swing.
God. That would have been a real story. That would have been like an emergency episode level story. Like that is like, and then imagine the court case of like Elton John versus Madonna, like Madonna assaulting Elton John. Like,
well, and it's also like if you are calling her a fairground stripper and
he deserves it.
Well, but it's also like, don't be like, "Forgive me." Just hold your ground. If that's what you really think of her. Like, right?
Right. Yeah, it's like, if you're going to fucking say it, like, stand 10 toes on it. Say it with your whole fucking chest.
Yeah,
Like, don't fucking back down when you see her in real life. Like, you probably just saw her and was like, "Oh, she's ripped. I'm sorry, don't hurt me, Madonna." Yeah. Like, he's a coward. Like, are you going to fucking, like, follow through? Like, or are you going to fucking back down like a pussy? And it turns out he's going to back down like a pussy.
Totally. Toughen up, dude.
It's so, of course, like, he isn't actually going to put his money where his mouth is. He's got a lot of fucking things to say, but then when it comes to like real life, he's like, actually, like, I'm 5 feet tall and I'm like very like stout and like old, and I, probably don't exercise and I don't want to do this. Like, I only perform sitting down.
Yeah. Don't knock my wig off.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, in all fairness, Madonna also is saying, "Don't knock my wig off," but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, they're both crazy. But I mean, like, what's going on at Saturday Night Live? I feel like there's been drama. Who was the guy that stormed off like a little bitch last week?
That fucking Morgan Wallen.
Yeah. And now Madonna and Elton John are like, burying the hatchet, like, dramatically.
Why were they both there? Was Elton John the musical guest or something like that? I don't even know.
Yeah, I feel like he's been on talk shows lately with he's with some other female artist that I'm totally blanking on the name of her. Not Casey
like,
Musgraves.
But... Okay, so I guess he was performing at SNL and she decided to show up to confront him? it's crazy that they let her in the building.
She can go wherever she wants. Who's going to turn her away? What are you going to do?
Look, I just wish the Madonna would have like fought back and just like not accepted the apology and been like, no, fuck you. And then did a big post about, she's like, I talked to Elton John and he tried to apologize and let me just say, fuck that. Like, I wish she would fight back.
I would have been, I mean, like the headlines.
The feud, like continuing a feud that people didn't really know about and then like having people find out the history and then like reigniting it is the best publicity either of them could ask for.
Madonna breaks Elton John's jaw at Saturday Night Live.
I mean, like, to have, like, these two old queens just fucking fight it out.
Oh, I would pay money.
So prefer it.
That's right.
Like, I understand that, like, everybody in music who, like, is gay or is, like, you know, has gay fans or is, like, using gay culture in any way, like, kind of does owe a debt to Elton John and, like, what he did for gay people in pop music. And so that's probably why she was so graceful and didn't say anything. But damn, I wish she would have fucking said something. And I wish she would have, like, fucking, you know, like, let's put our dicks on the table. Like, fuck you, Elton John. That's what I want.
Yeah, he's a legit musical genius. Like,
yeah,
there's a run that he went on in the 70s that I think few musicians can match. Like
I mean, just like the amount of single songs that are, like, you don't even realize are Elton John, like, that are like so famous.
Yeah. And his ability to play the piano. I can see why he would like bristle at Madonna being an icon and like not playing instruments, like at least not like, not nearly as proficiently as him. And
yeah, she's a pop star, you know, she's not like a musician's musician. She's like a pop star. And I think he loves Chappell Roan so much because though Chappell Roan is like a fucking born pop star, born performer, she like takes over the stage like in a miraculous manner. She's also just technically incredibly skilled. Like her voice, like what she can do with her voice is just like unmatched and crazy. And I think Elton John probably really admires that. And like that probably is why he's like decided like, oh, this is like my favorite person and protege and like we're best friends now.
Well, Lady Gaga is the godmother to his kids.
Is she?
Yeah, they're tight.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because she can play. Wow. She can play the piano and can really.
She's
sing.
a very skilled musician. She's like a classically. Is she classically trained? She might be.
She might be. She definitely.
Yeah,
she took some lessons, I would guess.
Yeah, I mean, she's incredibly skilled. And I mean, I will say, as much as Elton John is a bitch, like he at the AIDS Foundation charity where Chappell Roan performed, he performed Pink Pony Club with her, and like. I watched it and I just sobbed. Like, something about it. I was like, oh, wow. Okay, here's Elton John, this like elderly male gay person. And here's like Chappell Roan, who's like making music for gays to experience joy to. And they're singing it together. And the whole audience is singing along. Like something about it. Like my sappy ass was just fucking sobbing like a baby. It's like so. It's like humiliating to admit how much I was sobbing.
I'm embarrassed for you, but
I mean, yeah, the listeners are gonna stop listening to the show. They're gonna be like, "Mira's cringe. We got to get out of here."
Get it together.
Yeah, get your fucking emotional life together, Mira.
So they're going to collaborate, Madonna and Elton. It's going to happen. We just have
it has to
brace ourselves for whatever fucking song is going to come out of this.
What do you think it'll be called?
It'll be something.
It'll be like
I hope
two divas reuniting. Like
I hope it's called like Fairground Slut or whatever. That would be cool.
That would be great. I mean, that's the better choice. I feel like they won't actually do that, but I wish they would.
Yeah, it'll be called like
Fairground Stripper.
It'll be called like Forgiveness. It'll be fucking a disaster. It'll be a total disaster.
This is a disaster. This Madonna Elton collaboration is a disaster.
The thing too is that I kind of feel, I mean, maybe it's totally genuine and there was some like real moment of like release and forgiveness that happened. But I think it's every bit as likely on a human level that when actually confronted in person with this person that he has been like slagging in public for years, he caved and said, "Forgive me." But he doesn't really like her or respect her. He just didn't want to. He just didn't want to have to deal with the confrontation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I could totally see that, and like I could totally also just see him being like, fuck it, I'm old. I don't want to like go out with like Madonna fans hating me. You know, like I want to make sure that like there can be overlap between our two fandoms, because at this point she's, you know, just as big of a star as he is. And like him just being like, okay, fame wise, I've gotta kiss the ring now and just suck it up. And then saying to like his people personally at home, being like, she's a nightmare.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's good to not have enemies. It's good to, I think, you know, forgiveness is good. I like when people kiss and make up, but
I don't. I think that it's better to like harbor grudges for like 20 to 40 years. I mean, like I still, you know, harbor grudges against people who were mean to me in elementary school. And frankly, I think that's healthy emotionally.
I just think there is a point of no return. Like when somebody is just shitting all over you in public and like just calling you a piece of trash, like a talentless hack, it's just like, okay.
It's like there's a boundary there.
Yeah.
Like
it's okay.
You know, like no, there's like, you know, like I don't hold grudges against people easily. But when I do, like, I hold it. Like, I hold that grudge tightly, and I put it in a little safe, and then I put it right in there, and I, you know, list the names to myself every night before bed. No, I don't. But if somebody had said shit like that to me, I would certainly still be angry 20 years later.
Yeah.
And I would certainly still want to be like, hey, fuck you. Like, if I saw them anywhere. Like, absolutely.
That said, if somebody comes to you, the thing is that he didn't come to her, she came to him. But if he had just gone to her and been like, I need to bury the hatchet, I'm so sorry. If it was
still be kind of like, you were a fucking asshole, and like make them kiss the ring a little bit more. I wouldn't instantly be like, you're forgiven. That's very big of Madonna.
Yeah, I wish it was on tape. Is it on tape? Can we watch this moment, or probably not?
Of course not. I fucking wish. God. I mean, I'm sure there are cameras in SNL hallways, but, you know, we'll never see it. I fucking wish, though. I feel like it didn't really go down the way it did necessarily. I feel like they were probably privately in a room, and they were like, look, like, let's level with each other. A lot of time has passed. We're both old. Like, I don't want to have a fight anymore, and I think it'll be good for both of our careers if we, you know, stop fighting and like remind people of the fight and now say it's over. Like
they should make a song called Morgan Whalen is a little bitch. And just like
they should make a song called Brad and Mira for the culture.
That's right. Or they could just do like the gayest, like most like outrageous music video where they have AI like insert Morgan Whalen into the video somehow, and he's like it's like
get into a massive lawsuit with Morgan Whalen and be like, why did you like do AI where Morgan Whalen's whole penis was exposed?
He's just riding a unicorn and just, you know,
riding a unicorn. It's like the like Me music video starring Taylor Swift.
It's just like, yeah, I would love it. Put him in full makeup.
Man, if only. So, all right. So our next story is about Sydney Sweeney. So we're going back to the current generation, not the older generation. So I guess I've been like vaguely following this story. So she broke up with her fiance, Jonathan Davino. Do you know who the fuck that is?
No, I've seen pictures of him, and I'm like, why? It's like it doesn't make any sense that Sydney Sweeney is with him. You know, it's one of those couplings where you're just like, this doesn't even compute. But
yeah, my vibe that I get is that like it's a situation where they started dating when she was super young, like maybe in her 20s, and he was like in his late 30s or something like that. And so it was like he seemed appealing to her in like a older guy kind of way. And now that she's gotten older and like so much more successful, she's like, who the fuck is this guy and why is he in my house?
Why am I dating this guy?
Yeah, she like woke up and she was like, who the fuck is this motherfucker? Like, I was just in a movie where I was fucking Glen Powell and I'm coming home to this guy? Like, Jesus Christ. So I guess they were spotted together despite having broken up. They were spotted at a restaurant together. And I'm looking at a picture of both of them, and like Sydney Sweeney is wearing a big unflattering hoodie and big sunglasses covering her face with the hood up, and like her arms are at her side, like her fists are practically clenched. Like she looks fucking mad as fuck. And like he's kind of like almost like got his hand like on her back as if to like, be leading her or whatever, or like almost putting his arm around her. And she's clearly just like walking like 3 feet away from him. Like, no, fuck you, dude. Like, I fucking hate you.
Why are they doing that? Why are they doing this in public? This is what I don't understand. You're going through this like very like public breakup, and it's like kind of a spectacle in the tabloids. And so you're going to have some kind of heart to heart with your ex or soon to be ex. And you're like, what we should do is we should walk to a fucking restaurant in LA and do this in public. This seems crazy.
Right. It's crazy. The only reason that I can like think of to do that, I guess, is like maybe both of their publicists sat them down and they were like, look, you guys are getting divorced and we need the publicity to be as good as possible. And if you want people to like be off your back about it and have this not be all over every piece of news constantly, for the next several months or years or whatever, let's make it look like it's not acrimonious and like it is like, you guys are friendly with each other and it's a mutual thing, and that like you're so friendly with each other that you're okay walking the dog together, your mutual dog that you both own. You're like, co-parenting your dog, and so everything's fine. And so then, people are not going to care as much because people only care about conflict. And then Sydney Sweeney actually was just so fucking pissed that she was unable to hide it on her face, like even a little bit, even wearing sunglasses and a hood. And so the pictures that came out actually made everything worse.
Well, I've been picking up things. I don't even know how, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is just sort of in the internet ether. But I want to say that Sydney Sweeney went on a African safari with her like girl besties.
Yes.
She did. To like forget about this terrible breakup. Like, let's go see some giraffes or, whatever rich people do when they need to like have a moment of therapy with their pals.
Yeah. Going on a safari and then staying at some like random tropical island together at some fancy hotel and taking a lot of pictures of themselves and like, bikinis looking really hot.
Yeah. Let's go take a $150,000 vacation to like help me process this.
Help me process the fact that I finally broke up with my weird middle-aged boyfriend.
I mean, he just looks like the kind of guy, I don't know. He looks like is like a chef at an Italian restaurant that's like in a mall. I don't know. Like,
yeah, he's like way older than her and not even like good looking.
And
she's literally Sydney Sweeney.
She's like she's got Marilyn Monroe vibes. She's like the blonde. She's like the blonde bombshell. I will say that I think she's talented. I don't think she's been great in everything. Sometimes the movies aren't good enough or something. But I thought that her the first time I realized how good she is in that Reality Winner movie that she did.
I didn't see that movie, but I did see like clips and stills from it, and it seemed pretty incredible.
She was awesome in it. In it. I was like, oh, she can really act. So,
She is incredibly talented, and I've seen a lot of things that she has been in, as I guess everyone probably has. And like Euphoria was probably one of the first things that she was in. And that show was kind of a nightmare, but of course I watch every episode because I love garbage. And she was very, very good in that show. Like even in that context, she was like incredible, like great performance, like truly great performance. And then she was also in season 1 of White Lotus, and another great performance. She plays like the snotty daughter of like, a CEO of like a Google type company, and like is so funny and so great. And even that rom-com with Glen Powell, I thought was pretty good. In terms of like a shitty, like very shitty rom-com, like if you're just looking for like a just bottom of the barrel, like, kind of movie you watch on an airplane, it's one of the better ones of those, I would say.
It's like it's like the Netflixiest of Netflix movies. It just has that Netflix patina on it, which is shitty.
It definitely does, which is shitty and annoying. But if that's kind of what you're looking for, if you're trying to go fully brain dead, it wasn't the worst. And
I love how you're just damning it with faint praise. Like, listen, if you want to give yourself a lobotomy,
I mean, look, sometimes, often, I want to give myself a lobotomy. I don't know, like, I'm sure that there's some listeners who agree where it's like, you'll sit down and you'll be like, I don't actually want to watch a good movie right now. I want to watch something that is gonna kind of suck and be really low stakes, and I can pay half attention to it and not feel that bad, and like just it's kind of a nothing movie. And it's like a nothing movie that's like funny sometimes. It's entertaining enough that I'm watching it, but it's not something that like is so good that I like feel attached to it in any way.
Well, and Glen Powell is like the most people pleasery, like safe crush movie star to come along in a while. He's a big star. He's a good actor. He's got some comedic chops. He's got some like Ryan Reynolds-y vibes to me. Mm-hmm, but I mean, in the sense that like he can play, I feel like he can play both drama and comedy. But
yeah, Ryan Reynolds seems like less of a good actor than Glen Powell. Ryan Reynolds is like not, he can be funny, but that's about all he can really do. Like, and Glen Powell seems like he can kind of do it all.
Yeah, he's a star. My daughter has a huge crush on him. And
he's a very like, 11, 12-year-old crush type of actor for sure.
Yeah, he's the safe crush. But I feel like he's got that like kind of charm thing. Like both, like the movie that they're in together might be a piece of shit, but they're both like really good looking and charming and like they're game.
That's what carries the movie.
Yeah.
They have like a chemistry, and like anytime there is a funny part of the script, they play it well. I do something about Glen Powell's face. And I've said this to a couple of people, and they've said that it like they can't not think of it now. The man looks like a capybara. And I just like want listeners to go ahead and just Google capybara and then Google Glen Powell. And like, I dare you to tell me that I'm wrong. And like, I dare you to ever look at Glen Powell again and not think capybara. The man looks like a capybara, and he's attractive. He's like incredibly handsome. Like, I totally get it, but he looks like a capybara.
I feel like what are the odds? Are he in? Because like Sydney Sweeney in the in like the aftermath of this revelation that her marriage has been called off or her wedding has been called off, she goes on this lavish like safari with her girlfriends, and then she comes back to the States, and there was like this story in the news that she was like a guest at Glen Powell's sister's wedding, and he was like. So What does that mean? Like, help me decode this. Is this him being like, look, you're my friend and I'm going to have you come to my sister's wedding, and this is going to create a stir and it's going to redirect the media frenzy away from...
I mean, it's hard to tell because like basically everybody on the whole internet has been just like saying like, just trying to manifest a relationship between Glen Powell and Sydney Sweeney. Like, frantically and constantly as soon as that movie came out. Like, and Sydney Sweeney and Glen Powell definitely played it up. They were like, this is gonna, and they said it like that. Like, they were like, if we kind of pretend that there is a chance of us having a romantic relationship and sort of act a little bit overly touchy on the red carpet and stuff, it will sell the movie. And they were absolutely right. It did. And it's just continued.
Well, that's what Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper did for A Star Is Born.
Right, exactly.
They like it was like they were in love. That Oscars performance, it was like, wow, they're really into each other, and it was like, it was literally just like a marketing ploy.
Yeah, and like it's a smart marketing ploy. It, like if you have actors who are like have that natural chemistry and who are both famous enough, it works, and it worked for that fucking movie. Like, absolutely, I don't think that movie would have like been anything with other actors who like didn't have the natural chemistry and weren't willing to play it up. And so it's hard to tell if it's like that is a real thing that's kind of going on, that they actually do like each other and they're willing to play it up because they do like each other, or if it's just like he's her friend and he is like, okay, let's like, divert attention from your divorce to something more positive.
I feel like it's so crazy how there is this very real incentive structure for these celebrities to couple. Like, they have to know, like, wow, if we get together, our careers are going to go into overdrive. Like, it would be a frenzy.
Yeah. And also, like, they probably have to know with certain people that, like, their, agent, publicist, whatever, is going to be like, you can't, like, date this person. Like, this is, like, not good for your career. Like, that's also probably a constant concern.
Yeah, but I mean, like a Glen Powell, Sydney Sweeney, and then if they had a baby, if they procreated,
they would be such a celeb couple, so celeb.
I think it would be the most exciting celeb couple since Brangelina, like in terms of just like the hotness factor and the on-screen chemistry.
Yeah.
Though I will say, I know people have mixed feelings about this movie, but I thought the the original, like the OG Brangelina movie. What was it called where they were like spies together?
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
That's a good movie.
They were like peak hot. It's true. They were like really just peak hotness. Well, Angelina and like Girl Interrupted was maybe kind of peak hotness.
She was hotter in Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And she, and like the thing too is that like it was very obvious that they had this like crazy like attraction to one another.
Yeah, that was like a part of the whole movie is that like they like, you know, weren't dating at the time or whatever, but it was clear that they like just by the movie itself that they had like real chemistry, and then everyone like being able to actually live that out in real life. Like, oh yeah, no, they actually do have chemistry. Like that it would be the same for Sydney Sweeney and Glen Powell. Like people would fucking go nuts. I mean, they've been going nuts at the idea of it even.
So in order to promote this podcast, Mira and I at karaoke on Sunday, we're going to sing The Shallows together.
That's right. And the song is not called The Shallows. It is just called Shallow, but we will be singing it together. That's right. We're taking vocal lessons to prepare for it. I'm going to sound like Lady Gaga.
I'll do anything to sell this show.
Anything for the podcast. That's right. It's our publicist recommended that we sing Shallow at literary karaoke.
Our team is hounding us.
That's right. That's right. So let's see. What is our next? Okay, so our next and final story is about a universally hated man, Russell Brand, who
I'm not universally hated.
Jesus Christ. That was like a jump scare of an impression. That was really that was a shocking one. Not bad,
I'm interested in spiritual exploration. He's got this like, it's the Cockney.
That like, is it Cockney? It's like, really intense. Jesus Christ. So basically,
he's so fucking weird. He's going to eat your face off.
Weird, dude. Yeah, he really seems like he's going to eat your face off. And like, he is like just such a fucking sex predator that when I read that, and this is the story that he has been charged with rape allegations, I was like, hasn't he already been charged with that? Like, I was like surprised that this was like happening only now. I thought that it already happened, that he was already charged with rape allegations, but I guess not. Because, so I guess he is being charged with, or like he has to go to court for allegations which stem from incidents from 1999 to 2004. And Russell Brand says that back then he must have been captured by some kind of darkness because his life was all about sex, drugs, and alcohol. Poor baby. Oh no. He says back in the day, he was out there having sex with everyone. He claims women were throwing themselves at him because of his fame. And he wanted nothing more than to lose himself in endless pleasure. Like, literally just being like, wow, like, I was, like, suffering so much back then. I just, like, could not stop fucking. Like, I was just, like, fucking, and I was high, and it was the worst thing of all time. Poor me.
I have a friend who worked on, what was the movie? Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which is where he like became a star. That was like his first big break, I think.
Yeah, and in the States at least.
And they filmed that movie in Hawaii, I want to say on Oahu, because it was all set in Hawaii, right? Mm-hmm. Like that was the plot of the movie. And my friend was like, yeah, he was doing like the press junket, and he was like, you know, hooking up with like the journalists who were interviewing. He was like insatiable.
God, ew.
He was insatiable, but like also had like the gift of gab and like charm and like.
Sure, right.
Nobody knew who the guy was. They were just like, oh, he's just this like very like, you know, chatty British dude. Who looks like a, yeah. And
yeah, like now he like, since he basically got canceled before even like the actual rape charges happened, he has basically tried to be a cult leader and like mostly failed. And he's like found some kind of god and just kind of like just been like a failed cult leader, like kind of like far right, but not quite, but also, yeah, kind of anti-trans, just like nightmare man.
He's just, yeah, it's like, honestly, like they should make a documentary about it because the trajectory is so
They probably
perfect.
Will. I'll bet there's like a bunch of women who were like assaulted by him or in some capacity. Like he does not seem like this was like a one-time issue. Just seems like one person is coming out about it. It's just like the quintessential manifestation of like the Hollywood male story or something. Like, yeah, I'm going to go from being like a nobody
to being a star, to being like a Lothario, to being like the husband of one of the biggest pop stars in the world, to being like persona non grata, to being like a cult leader in the manosphere.
Yeah, right. Jesus Christ. Like that pipeline is so real and like happens so like just so often that it's strange. It's like it seems like such a weirdly specific thing, and yet like we've seen it with so many different celebrities. And that reminds me of, I assume that you have not seen the documentary about Katy Perry. I want to say it was called like Pieces of Me or something like that.
I have not.
It's the only Katy Perry documentary. And it was about her being on tour for was it a Teenage Dream, the name of the album? It was whatever album had Teenage Dream on it. I'm sorry if any Katy cats are listening, don't hurt me. In that documentary, there is a scene that is just like even if you don't want to watch the whole documentary, I recommend looking at this scene because it is like one of the craziest things I've ever seen in a documentary practically. Russell Brand told Katy Perry that he wanted a divorce via text message 5 minutes before Katy Perry was going on stage while she was on tour. Like, literally, you see her get the text, look shocked, tell her assistant, Russell just told me that he wanted a divorce. And her assistant is like, what do you mean? And then she shows the assistant the text and she's like, oh my God. And then somebody comes in the room and says, okay, we've got 2 minutes to stage. And you see Katy Perry go onto the platform that lifts her up onto the stage. And she's crying and she's crying. And she then the platform begins to move. She wipes her tears, puts on a stage face. Within an instant, her face was not crying. She went from crying to having a on-stage face and then did the whole show perfectly. It's like, I don't even care that much about Katy Perry, but it is so unbelievably impressive and just insane that she was able to do that. I would be crying on stage.
She can compartmentalize
in a crazy way, to a wild degree. And also, imagine being married to someone and then telling them you want a divorce in a text message.
At least he didn't tweet it.
I mean, yeah, that's true, I suppose. But and then purposefully minutes before she's going on stage, she told him in the text, I'm about to go on stage. And then he was like, I want a divorce.
Well, good riddance. I mean, she's better off without him.
Truly.
Now she's married to the elf from Lord of the Rings, right? She's...
You're right, Orlando Bloom.
Yeah. He's...
the yassified elf.
What does yassified mean?
Oh, wow. We have another Brad Learns. We have a second mini Brad Learns.
An elfin Brad Learns. An
elfin Brad Learns. Yassified is when you use one of those facial filters that takes your normal face and turns it into a very smoothed out, perfect version where your hair is looks fake and your entire face is smooth and glowing and you almost look kind of like an anime character or something like that. Do you know the kind of and people will do it to Donald Trump and it'll look super freakish. That is basically how Orlando Bloom was in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, he was so adorable. He's a good looking dude.
He was adorable. He was very androgynous and adorable. Everyone was good looking in Lord of the Rings.
Nobody better than Viggo, though. Viggo's that's what I wish I looked like. I wish I looked like Viggo.
Oh my God.
Viggo Mortensen in Lord of the Rings. I would just wander the earth.
Viggo Mortensen, who was married to Exene Cervenka of the punk band X. Exene was a school librarian for the elementary school where her kid went to school for years and years. Her and Viggo's kid went to school for years and years. Just the coolest couple of all time, basically.
Are they still married? But they're not married, or they are?
They're not married, but I think that they are friends and it's chill. They co-parent or whatever, but they divorced a few years ago, I think, sadly.
I think I've told you this story that I saw Viggo in Toronto.
Did you tell me this story?
He was at the Toronto Film Festival. Yeah, I'm having memories of it, so I don't want to
Yeah, no, you did. Toronto Film Festival.
Yeah, but he
man, he is such a hottie.
Seems like a good guy too. He seems like Val Kilmer, kind of good weird,
Yeah, He seems like a true, like almost like a Willem Dafoe or something too, like a true weirdo, but like good-hearted in the end.
Yeah, and like a real artist. He's an artist.
Yeah.
He's a seeker.
And just a stone cold hottie. I mean, holy shit. Like, what a man that guy is, like, even to this day.
I would give anything for a body like Viggo Mortensen.
You know what? I actually feel like that's a good place to leave off the podcast. I think that's a good note. What do you think, Brad?
I think so. We can. I think we stuck the landing. I really do.
I think we stuck the landing. I think that last impression really was just like the cherry on top. I think we really killed it.
Okay. Well, you're welcome, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week, and we'll continue our analysis, our trenchant analysis of pop culture.
Bye-bye.